Today is Sunday, October 11th, and we've had a lot going on at the farm since I guess it was July was the last video, big video we did with the grow room tour. And we've been busy at the farm. We've been going to the farmers market every week this summer, and there's been a pretty decent crowd even with COVID. Whether that's good or bad considering there's a pandemic, but as far as business goes, it's been good, better than last year. So that's been good, and we're going to continue to go. As far as we know, there's going to be a winter market. I haven't looked at the application yet for the vendor application, but we Manassas will transition to the winter market sometime in around Thanksgiving, give or take. And we're tentatively planning to do it. Still weighing whether we want to take it easy and kind of rest up for the main season next year, or carry on through the winter market. So we'll see what happens there. But so we've been busy, and still doing microgreens every week. We still have garden output, so we're bringing tomatoes every week. We're harvesting peanuts, and we're still selling out of eggs. One of the silver linings with this pandemic, for some reason, people have been really interested in our eggs, and the other egg vendors as well at the market. So we still sell out pretty much every week. We take pre-orders. If you miss getting the eggs one week, you can potentially ask us to get eggs the following week, and we can put you on the list and get you in line for the eggs. So so a lot going on. So what we have here in this video is a bunch of time-lapse videos of us doing some work in the garden, harvesting peanuts, laying weed blocker and drip line for irrigation. And then today we did a bird move. So we move our birds. It's the second weekend of each month, and so this happens to be the second weekend of October. So it was a bird moving day. So we did a time lapse of that. So enjoy. I'll narrate along as we watch these time lapses. So thanks for watching. Okay, so this is our garden, and it's basically a series of raised beds where each bed is 30 inches wide. We have 18-inch walkways in between the beds, and they're all roughly 50 feet long. So, and the garden's kind of divided up into two groups. We have an upper area you can see up there with the green plants and weeds and things, and then the lower area is tarped up, and we have weed block fabric covering it. And so what we're doing here, so the general idea was earlier in the summer we were using the upper area, and we had peanuts up there and our salad mix and tomatoes. And as the plants started to age out, and we still have plants up there, still have peanuts and still some tomatoes, but they're still going. But meanwhile, we still want to get fall crops in the ground. So we expanded the garden to include this lower area with another set of raised beds so that we could plant the fall stuff while the upper area ages out. So anyway, so this is us prepping this lower area. We're prepping the second and third bed, and we've got this stencil with 2-inch holes in it, and they're spaced 6 inches apart. And then I've got that blowtorch thing. I'm blowing, melting holes into the weed block fabric, and then we can plant transplants into those holes. And so we've been growing transplants inside. This was actually taken earlier in September, and we had started transplants inside back in like August. And so this is like salad mix and kohlrabi and radishes and fall type crops. So we are prepping the weed blocker here. And so the next thing we do is lay down the drip line. So it's drip irrigation. So up at the top there, going along across the beds is like a header line. And what we're doing right now is splicing in these valves into the header line, and we want to run drip line in between the rows. So each bed has 4 rows of holes, so we do, you know, a drip line in between each row, so that's 3 lines of drip tape. And so the water comes out of that header through the drip lines, and then at the bottom, which you can't see, but where Alyssa's going there, we just pinch off the ends, so there's no header down along the bottom. It just pinches off, and yeah, so we're just unwinding everything, and then so we want to try to make sure that the line stays straight. We have these 8-inch ground staples that we put in. Now the thing is, after I shot this video, we turned on the water and tried it out, and see, the lines are on top of the weed blocker, but we were seeing that the water was just collecting on top of the weed blocker and running down the hill and pouring off the weed blocker, and wasn't actually penetrating into the ground. So we ended up pulling up the weed blocker and putting the lines underneath and then redoing it. But anyway, that's the basic idea. Okay, so in this video, I'm harvesting our second row of peanuts. And so yeah, 50-foot row. I think it was something like 80 to 90 plants total. And I do want to say, you know, this is a video of me doing farm work, but this is not the norm. You know, Alyssa does probably 90% of the farm work. You know, I go to work during the week, so office job, so I want to give her plenty of credit here. But I'm a ham, so I have a film of myself. So anyway, so these are yeah, pulling the peanuts up, and I'm taking them down to the bottom area there to dry off on the tarp down there for a few days, spread them out, and then after a few days we bring them inside and pull the peanuts off the plants, and then we dry them out on a table. We try to get them as much surface area as possible so that they don't get all moldy. Yeah, so I ran out of room down at the bottom, so I'm spreading them out on the bed that I just harvested from, just for extra space. And so you see in the row next to it with the row cover, that's some old salad mix that's still going. And in the row to the right there, you can see the tomatoes that are trellised. And then we've got peanuts on the row on the other side of the row cover, and that's the 3rd bed of peanuts to go in another couple weeks. So this is our bird move. Now we've already opened the door, so the birds were in the central pen on the right there. We opened the door, and so they've already gone into the left pen because the grass is nice and green in there and there's plenty of bugs. And so now all we're doing is moving the houses over. We've got this, it's called a gorilla cart. It's a little cart that we put the houses on and roll them over. I'm scraping the poop off the house there. The birds like to get up there and just poop all over it. And we're talking to a neighbor who came by for a little bit. We're probably going to build another house, birdhouse, in the next month or so, just to keep them fresh. One of the houses is starting to get kind of old, so we want to update that. Alyssa's putting some pine shavings in the houses, and that's about it. So yeah, so those are just some things that we've been doing around the farm for the past month or so. You know, generally getting ready for fall, and yeah, looking forward to it. So appreciate you watching, and hope to see you at the market. Thanks. Bye.